everybody. Welcome to another Sunday Coffee Lounge Bible verse episode. Mouthful, right? Coffee Lounge talk that we do on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Last few weeks, because I was moving to a new place and all of that, you guys know I shared the update in one of the short videos. I actually just realized that going forward, if I ever have any break like that, which I don't think there will be, I actually probably should make more than one short so that all of you guys are aware. And I'm sorry that I'm just being myself. I'm drinking water, right? That's normal. So I'm here in Boston. By the time you guys watch this video, it will be probably, I'll tell you guys, because I think I'm going to post this video on July 19th, Sunday, because now it's July 10th, and this is the second video I'm making. I'm just trying to take it a little easy. It's 2 p.m. on Friday afternoon, because I will have, a mixer that I'll be attending for the conference that is tomorrow and day after all day. Here, this area is Cambridge, and there is a river, it's called Charles River, and on the other side is Boston. It's literally actually like a 5 minutes drive, 10 minutes drive, wherever the event is. I will get an Uber, but I got to bed at 2 a.m. last night because I landed here midnight, and Uber, whatever, it took a long time. I'm like super exhausted from all the move and everything, so I'm like, I need some energy for tonight and tomorrow, the 2 days, that's going to be all day and even in the evening, nonstop. So, and Mondays when I get back. So I figured I'm going to have some coffee with you guys, because some days these videos are going to be live, where I'm going to really looking forward to have coffee with you guys. If any of you are interested, let me know in the comments. So it will be nice to start doing some of those. Maybe, I don't know, we could try to do periodically, once a month or once in 3 months, wherever. But some of you guys are coming here regularly, so if you're interested, we can, pick a Bible verse and share each of our stories. That'll be wonderful. And I know that when you do live, I think it gives you the option only for me to speak, but you guys have to type. But guess what? What we can do, because I also have a meetup community over there, I can schedule virtual event for you guys if you are not in Northern Virginia, because for Northern Virginia we do in-person events, and which I'm also planning to do some virtual events this year, like later 2026 or 2027 for sure. So we can just start there. Anyway, so today's verse for this episode, the verse is 1 Thessalonians 5:18. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus toward you. I'm going to read it again. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus toward you. And you guys know that I don't say that this channel is for Christians only, or it's not even fully faith-based. I share my faith because the way my faith has taken a turn that I cannot explain it, because I grew up Hindu, then I followed Buddhism for a little bit, and after everything fell apart, which was almost 3 years ago, and for me, the way it worked is Hinduism was there and Buddhism kind of worked as a bridge, and then I got to Christianity. Now, if you ask me how that worked as a bridge, that's a whole different story for another day. But a book called Energy of Prayer by Thich Nhat Hanh, who is known as the second to Dalai Lama in Buddhism, he wrote that book. So I listened to that book maybe like 40 times, because for me, when I really like some books, I listen to it or read it over and over. And then there was Lord's Prayer in that book, and there was something that was igniting me in my mind, and that's probably the inner coach, right? Like I talked to you guys about the inner coach framework that I created. And then there were many other unexplainable events, and one other I'll touch on, and then I'll move on to the actual episode, the talk that I have for today in this episode. I also, 2024, you guys know that I used to read lots of books, and then I would share what I learned. One of the book was the Book of Joy, and it was a writer, I forgot the writer's name, but he wrote, the book was about 1 week period where Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. So Dalai Lama is, for Buddhism, he's, I don't want to say the top because then it kind of creates that hierarchy, but you know what I mean. And Desmond Tutu is Christian. And those are the times, like, I was contemplating in my mind, like, how come these two different people from completely two different faith, and they're like they're like a really good friends, like two kids, talking to each other like that. In that book, you'd see they spend a week to celebrate Dalai Lama's 80th birthday, and that book is about that. And that writer, he depicted that week in such a way that left a really lasting impact in my mind. And I'm like, faith is so personal, and you can still be very close friends with people who may not see your faith exactly the same way you do. Because when people do this, that my way or the highway, I feel like, I don't know how to say it in a nice way, but it's like, almost like they think like they are God. And I'm sorry for saying it that way, but I don't know what other way to say it, right? Because everybody's life is so different. Everybody's the culture and life experience, 8 billion people, like shapes, our life is shaped in so many ways. There were times that was so painful when there was nobody around you, right? What helped you in those moments, that has the impact even in your faith, how you look at life, but people will never understand, and which they don't have to, right? Because you have only one audience up there. And if you if you believe in God, and different kind of God that works, or if you believe in universe, higher power, your higher self, there is something bigger than ourselves, which is what you have to believe in, right? So when you do this, if you think of the quantum jump, and all of that is possible when you think that there is something beyond ourselves that is in works, right? Because otherwise when we try to achieve something, there's limitations, because we have physical limitation, our other kind of limitation. We might be able to train our mind to break free from many different types of limitations that was built over time. But in some way, the unfortunate thing is, by the time when you're in your midlife, a lot of these are so deeply held beliefs, and sometimes that takes for people to get to a rock bottom to to come out of it. Unfortunately, that's what happened for me. Unfortunately, a lot of you guys who come here, because this channel is about reinventing your life after divorce, where you get to your most authentic self and you live the fullest potential by igniting your inner coach. But it is not an overnight process. It's an over time process. You just have to continue to keep going, and over time, who you become, and that is what becomes beautiful. You fall in love with your own life like never before, right? So that is the most beautiful thing in this process. But in the beginning, it's a lot of work. But after some time, I tell people that you get addicted to that feeling in a very good way. And that feeling, because you don't want to lose that feeling, so you continue to keep doing these practices. And like for me, like it's almost like a fun game, like a puzzle, to look for positive in everything. And you can't find always the positive right away, but when you keep looking, you will find it. I can guarantee you, I can show you positive in every single thing you can think of. So one of the reason I have this verse, this is the web version. You guys know I talk about the World English Bible version, web version, because of the no copyright. It says, "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus toward you." When my journey started, if you see the early days of my videos, like 2024, I started about 6 months after everything fell apart, because before then I was thinking I would start, but life was in a very challenging situation. But the point is, before then I realized, when I was doing mindfulness, gratitude, if you guys are interested, you can read that on my book, Grateful After Goodbye. That is the book actually what got me here for free. I mean, I'm paying the hotel and the flight, but the event that I'm attending, the conference that I'm attending, who knew, right? Who knew? So this video is really, I know it's 10 minutes and I'm talking about the actual video topic, is that I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful. Like, none of this we can make it happen. We can't make it happen, right? You just got to believe that there is something bigger working in your life, because I'm grateful for the event organizer, Nick, and Christine, who works for him, and the other people in his company, and lots of other people, like the speakers. I'm attending as a attendee this time. Who knows, next year I might be a speaker. So my journey didn't start like only last year, right? The journey started a long time ago. So two of my most favorite quote is, one is Steve Jobs, "You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. You just have to believe that the dots will connect." I kind of butchered it, but the point is, all the things that are happening in your life, you will be able to see how they connect. The dots will connect. I have shared in many different videos, so I'm not going to go deep, but during my corporate career, and even prior in my, when I was growing up in India, all of that, there were dots that were connecting, that showed, how I got to where I got to. And one is that happening, and second is for us to look for, because we will see what we want to see. And for me, I think I was not ready to see it until everything fell apart. And that's the thing. Sometimes for us to notice the absolute beauty of life, unfortunately, sometimes you have to lose it all. And then you start from the basic things, like this blue sky, the trees, like there is beauty in it, but we don't see it. We take everything for granted. Not many people can see with their eyes, right? So if we can see that and witness the green color of the leaves, the blue of the sky, and there is some white clouds, we take this for granted. There are enough people in the world who would want to see that, and that will make them happy, right? So the point is that if you have this life still, and separation and divorce, that if you're going through that, continue with your journey, because you never know where it will take you. You just have to find things that you're grateful for, and that's where I started. So I'm grateful for all of those events. I mean, looking back, it is harder to see that all of that happened, but life is not perfect. Even now, life is not perfect, but I trained my brain in a way so that I notice on the positive. The other things that happen, okay, it's in the back burner, it's there, I just got to do it, I just got to take care of it. And over time, what happens is your mind is not like zooming into the problem. Instead, your mind is zooming into the positive, the inner coach. So on that note, I do want to make sure to say this, because Steve Jobs, I didn't necessarily like his management style, but I do like the vision, and how he was able to make a big impact in the world. And the second quote I have, maybe not I have, it's Wayne Dyer. Maybe, I don't know, that probably is now my favorite quote, is when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So people use this half a cup versus full cup, right? So it's the bottle. I'm going to use this example, like about half a bottle water left and half is empty. So if you want to focus on the empty, you can focus on the empty cup, or you can focus on the, you know, the water that is still there. I mean, and simple going deep on that, like, okay, you're thirsty, you have this much water to drink, but you can complain about, oh, the water, the bottle is not full, you know, it's not enough water. So if you want to complain about something, there's always things you will find to complain. And if you want to find something good, there'll always be things to be grateful for. Also, you can be grateful that even if the water ends, you have the water bottle that maybe you can go, like I'm in a hotel, so you might be able to go fill it up somewhere, or things like that. So the point is, look beyond the regular things that you can be grateful for, because if you keep looking for that, you will find, my friend, you will find whatever you are looking for if you look hard enough, right? And that goes with anything. And since in this channel we talk about, you know, life after separation, divorce, and how to reinvent your life, how to live an authentic life, also part of that, after a certain period when you have worked on yourself and you're dating, and that is the time where you don't want to perform. What I mean by that is a lot of dating, I know this is like a coffee lounge talk, that's why it's a coffee lounge talk. We are expanding to like many different topics. So you know, become your authentic version, because when you are yourself, that is when you will attract the right person, because the other people will come and go, because if they're like, if it's repelling, that means they're not for you. Now, there is this thing that you know, there's compromise, all of that in a relationship you got to do, but you don't want to compromise with your non-negotiables, and non-negotiables are attached to your beliefs, your values, and other things. But I won't go deep into that, because the whole point is what I keep talking about. You guys know the inner coach framework is that your most authentic self, where you are not looking for external validations and things like that. And a little sneak peek, in the next 6 months, this is July, so in the next 6 months, I'm also going to be rolling out, I'm working with a couple friends, I'm also going to be rolling out, perhaps through an app, that is what we're trying to figure out, authentic dating. I know I just talked about it in a Bible verse episode. Oh, what a fun way of doing things. Anyway, if you guys are still listening, it's 18 minutes, but I'm gonna make a short YouTube short around it, so that you guys are notified, because longer videos, sometimes I understand that everyone doesn't have that much time, and I respect that, and some of you watch them the whole thing, and I appreciate it, because that is how we build connection, right? Because I truly believe that 8 billion people, we are all one big human family, right? Because that's how we can build authentic connections with each other, right, people? And that is how I want you guys to start thinking too, because you know, when you are with your family, you don't perform, right? And that's why thinking that with that mindset that we are all 8 billion people as part of one family will get you out of that performing mindset, because ultimately, like tomorrow and day after, like I'm not speaking, right? I am meaning I'm speaking, but I'm not speaking on the stage. Like I'm not one of the 25 or 30 speakers they have out of 400 plus people. But let's say if they tell me all of a sudden to speak, I'm gonna be fine. I'm just gonna go talk about my, oh, there's a helicopter, big one. Oh, two. Oh. Anyway, So, I'm just going to go talk about what I do and stuff like that. And it is so freeing to be yourself, because in the past I would be like, oh, did I say it right? Did I say it? Excuse me. Does it have to be this way? Does it have to be that way? You just don't. Um, yes, you want people to get the message, but you don't have to worry about being perfect. And because the perfect is the inner critic, and the inner coach is that the imperfect you, the authentic you. And it's okay if you mess it up. It's because our brains are wired in a way to know when somebody is authentic, somebody, like, if they have a good heart, people know. So when I talk about my work, people know that I'm genuine about the impact and the difference that I'm trying to make in this world, because this pain that God helped me to transform into a purpose, it feels like a calling, that the way that I cannot explain. And it feels like that, God is guiding my path, is like a GPS, like literally. And I just know this strong faith or belief, or whatever you want to call it, that this is just going to work. It's going to make impact in millions of people. And yesterday somebody commented on YouTube that you are making an impact in millions of people's life. And I'm so grateful for that person for saying that. I'm not ideally making like millions of people's. There are some ripple effects, of course, because there's a lot of people that keep coming back here on the channel, and on meetup events I do, and the books I have written. But I do hope to make impact, like, positive impact in people's life, for them to live most authentically, because it is so freeing. It's not only for people who are divorced, even for people, they are living regular lives. So many people are afraid, right? The fear takes over, the inner critic takes over. You have to do certain things in certain way. Like when I was coming here, last few weeks have been intense with house selling, moving to a new place, and coming here. Normally I'd be like, okay, I have to have all my ducks in a row. I have to do this 1, 2, 3 before but I couldn't. There was just no time. But then I accepted that, okay, this was what God's plan was. And it just takes you to a place, my friends. I wish I could tell you guys, but you probably know from my genuine expression and how I'm telling you. It's like, again, everything I say, that there is no magic pill. It doesn't happen overnight. You just have to keep going, surrender. You will have the faith and the strength, like you can conquer the world. At the same time, you have to keep surrendering the outcome, because because outcome is not in our control. Tomorrow there could be an earthquake. Hopefully there isn't. But the point is, you get my point, right? What is outside of our control is outside of our control, and that you surrender to God, to universe, whatever resonates with you. So, for me to get to this place, I had to go through a lot, and many people go through a lot of painful situation in their life. But how you respond to the pain is what will make a difference in your life, right? Because if you are a human, you would have pain, you would have suffering, but what you do with the suffering is what can change your life, right? And they say that a lot of our pain and suffering is generational. They just continue until we transfer that pain into a purpose, and that purpose, your next generation, your kids, they may continue with that purpose, or they might find different purpose. But you all heard that, kids learn by watching more than what we say. So, I am no way close to a perfect parent. I just try my best. And if you talk to my 10-year-old daughter, she'll tell you. She acts like she's 20. But anyway, the point is, what does living a good life mean to you? For me, living a good life is, living authentically, because I say this, that, your inner critic is here, your inner coach is here, or you can say your positive feelings are here and your negative feelings are here. We all have things, you drop here, but how quickly we can get back up. Majority of the time we can spend our life here is life worth living. And what will get you there is the inner coach framework that I talk about, because you can be your biggest coach ever, best coach ever, because in the past when you fell down here, what are the things that took you up there? And that's what I keep telling you, because everybody else will give you the blueprint that worked for them, but their life story, the path they have crossed, the path they have walked through are very different than yours. So the same blueprint that worked for them may or may not work for you, and which is why you got to look back, like the breakthroughs that you had in your life. Because if you're in your midlife without knowing even the details of your life, I know you had at least a few breakthroughs, 3-4 breakthroughs. Look at them, look at the pattern, find your own pattern, and those breakthroughs always leave a clue. So when you can find the pattern, you can use it now and you can get to your fullest potential. So I hope you guys enjoy the journey, find joy in your journey. Don't look for the destination, because so many people suffer from how Joel Osteen says, the destination disease. I kind of like that term. That's why I'm like using his name and saying the destination disease, because it's not my term. But I think this is really perfect to say it that way, because even for me, like if I think, oh, okay, what's my destination in 3 years, 5 years, I can plan all I want, but it's not in my control, right? I surrender it to God, and there is a different kind of power and peace that comes from that, because it's almost like, I'm not worrying and I'm giving it to God, so I don't have to control that big burden. Instead, I'm finding the daily moments of joy, the simple things. I sip my coffee. The coffee got cold by now, by the way. And then I have this book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, and I have the Dale Carnegie book here too. I don't know if I'll have time to read, but I have read those books like many, many, many times. Anyway, so the point is, live your authentic life. Activate your inner coach. You will never go back after you continue with this for a few months. Oh my God, people, do it. You are gonna fall in love with your own life. Okay, with that, I'm gonna finish the video, and take care, and come back for this type of videos every Sunday at 10 a.m. I share a Bible verse, and then after that I share my story. And as you guys can see, this is like a coffee lounge talk, so we kind of bring up all sorts of things. And sooner or later we're gonna do some live here, and then we're gonna move them to the virtual on Meetup, so then we can see each other and it'll be fun. Take care. Bye.